To be enlightened demands courage, a serious kind of courage, because the journey of enlightenment is a very, very serious one. And it's a journey where you're almost going alone, because you're going to be out of the tribe you've been born into, you'll be out of the religion you've been born into, you'll be out of the tradition you've been born into. You'll just be alone, exploring life. This is what enlightenment entails. This is what enlightenment is. So it demands a strange kind of courage. How courageous are you to approach life from a very spiritual dimension, not from a religious dimension? Because the religious dimension is very simple, very naive, and very superstitious, full of all kinds of nonsense. So how prepared are you to face life from a very spiritual perspective that does not have anything to do with religion? Because to be enlightened, you're going to drop the religious God that you have known in favor of a mystery God, a mysterious, enigmatic God. You will drop the religious God you've known, that writes scriptures, that does all kinds of things, that appears very, 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 very imperfect, that appears very much like a man. You would have to drop such an inferior image of God in favor of a more superior, advanced, intellectual, and spiritual image of God that is more better. So all your religions have given us superstitious, naive, almost childish imagination of God. So enlightenment will give you the courage to face this kind of traditions, to drop all your religions, all your traditions, all of these things that have existed for thousands of years. All of this serious nonsense will have to be dropped. So it demands a strange kind of courage. So when the enlightened man is speaking about God, he's speaking about God from a different perspective. When the enlightened man is speaking about politics, he speaks of it from a different perspective, from a unique perspective, because he is enlightened, because he is seeing beyond, because he's seeing a deeper meaning. For example, an enlightened person is not a Democrat. He does not believe in democracy, because democracy gives power to idiots. Democracy gives power to people who do not hold substance. Democracy gives power to people who do not want it. Democracy gives power to the common people, to the crowds. Democracy is simply a mobocracy. It's simply the system of the mob, of the crowd, of the unenlightened, of the unintelligent. This is why all enlightened masters have been against democracy. This is just one example. So you have to be courageous. The democratic system is practiced all over the world. It is hailed all over the world. It is worshipped all over the world. Now, as an enlightened person, you have the audacity to confront it. This is the problem. Not everybody is courageous enough to confront popular teachings, popular theologies, popular philosophies. And these kind of people that are not courageous enough cannot be enlightened, because to be enlightened, you have to be courageous. And this is the kind of courage I'm talking about now. A unique kind of courage, a deep kind of courage that comes from within, from a deep realization. You know that you are saying the truth, because your truth cannot be challenged. People can feel your truth when you're saying it. You know, when you explain things as an enlightened person, people can see your truths. People can understand them. So, to be enlightened demands a courage, a unique kind of courage. And so, are you willing to have that kind of courage? Are you willing to confront all those popular teachings you've been taught for many years? Can you confront them? If you are able to confront them, then you will hit an atomic level of realization. You will know life in a very deep dimension. The day you are able to drop all the nonsense that you've been taught for many years, if you are able to review them, we're able to criticize them, whether they are religious or philosophical or political, whatever. Once you're able to review them, then you are one step close to enlightenment, to deep enlightenment. Okay? So you have to find a way to reach this courage. You cannot talk about enlightenment without reaching this courage. This courage is very important. There is no enlightenment without this courage. There can be no enlightenment at all without this courage. This courage is very important. It is very unique. It is what we need. So, you should not think that there is an easy way to enlightenment. There is no easy way to enlightenment. You cannot be enlightened and entertain your delusions. You cannot be enlightened and entertain your religious gods and scriptures. You cannot be enlightened and entertain political philosophies that are popular, all kinds of useless teachings. You cannot be enlightened and entertain these kind of things. You cannot be enlightened and wallow in ignorance and stupidity. You have to have a courage to come out of it. You have to have a courage to challenge the religions, challenge the priests, challenge the political philosophies, challenge the others, challenge the exploiters, the colonizers, all kinds of people, evil people, the pacifists, Confucianists, the monks, all kinds of people that are making life unnecessarily serious and destructive. You have to have the audacity to confront them and their teachings. So this is the kind of courage I'm talking about. So if you don't have this courage, there is nothing like enlightenment for you. You cannot know enlightenment. And don't even hide under the idea of being a silent, enlightened master. You're not saying anything. If you cannot say anything, then you're of no use to the world. You're of no use to the enlightened community, because you have to speak. You have to keep speaking. And once somebody is enlightened, the person must continue to speak and speak and speak. So you must know this courage to be enlightened. You must come to this realization and decide that you will speak the truth. So once you've decided that you will speak the truth, then this courage will deeply baptize you. This courage will come into you, and then you are on the verge of complete enlightenment. Be willing to question anything and everything. Criticize everything, and you'll be able to bring out the truths in them, the false in them. So once you're willing to criticize, and you're willing to know, and willing to proclaim that which you have found out to be true, then you have received a divine courage. You've received a divine courage. And it is a unique kind of courage, because not everybody has it. Everybody, millions of people today in the world are living under a consolation. They are enjoying the crowd. They want to live together in a group. They want to come towards a movement, or they want to just go to something that will pamper their ego and their delusions and their consolations, and give them all those their traditions and all those rotten ideas that cannot help them. They want to identify as Christians, as Muslims, as Buddhists. They want to join some sect, some other, in order to feel special. But no, enlightened people, even when they are gathered in groups, cannot feel special, because they have something serious to do in the world. They don't need all those consolations. They don't need to go to heaven or to paradise or to any of these places. They are simply fulfilled in themselves, and they don't need any consolation. They don't want to be told any sweet story. They want to see life the way it is, and they want to enjoy life the way it is. And this is very, 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 very important. So are you willing to have that courage? If you're willing to have that courage, you can simply embrace that courage. That courage can begin inside of you. You can embrace that courage. It can begin now. And you are one step to enlightenment. Once you are able to receive that radical courage to question anything, to face anything, then you are a step closer to full enlightenment. That's what it is.